Hey guys, JG here. Before this video gets started, make sure to subscribe to the TMK channel for all of our content. We got JG's Movie Night, we got Look Ma No Helmet, and our newest edition, Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Now, it isn't necessarily a new show. Obscurities is a podcast I would do with Remy Grey, and we watched movies we never heard of with zany titles, and once a month we'd also watch a movie from our childhood and see if it still held up. And this episode you're about to hear is about Batman and Robin, the 1997 movie. Now, we're interested in making new episodes for YouTube and podcasting platforms, but in order to do that, we need your help. If you like this podcast and you find it funny, you want more, help us get this video to 1,000 likes. I know that sounds crazy, right? But hey, let's shoot for the moon, why not? Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, I don't know, is Tumblr still a thing? Let's do that too. If we all band together, we can resurrect this amazing show. Thanks for listening to my little spiel, and now sit back, relax, and enjoy Obscurities of the Silver Screen.
We are back for week 3 of Obscurities of the Silver Screen. What did we watch? Well, just wait till after the break. Hey, welcome back to week 3 of Obscurities of the Silver Screen. I am JG Murphy, one of your co-hosts. Tyler is not here this week due to unfortunate circumstances, so filling in for Tyler, we have the mysterious, the incomparable Remy Grey.
Hi. I've never had an intro quite like that.
Oh, I know, right?
And I think it's quite suiting.
I'm glad it is. I'm glad it is. So, Remy, what movie did we watch this week?
We watched one of my favorites.
Now, but okay, so let me give a background first. So,
Okay.
what we do one episode a month where we watch a movie that one of us or both of us liked as a kid, and we watch it now to see if it holds up. So, what did we watch?
We watched Batman and Robin.
Fuck yes, Batman and Robin from 1997, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, Alicia Silverstone. Oh man, I am angry that my 5-year-old self loved this movie, but I'm not at the same time. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, you kind of love-hate this movie.
So I've always been a weird fan of this film, and watching it this time around, it kind of set everything in concrete as to how much I really love this movie.
It's so fucking crazy that it's like, wow, this is amazing.
Looking at it now, it's garbage, but it is
Right.
everything that I've ever wanted.
It's truly a terrible film, but like it's like, you know, kind of like, you know, one of those so bad it's good movies, like The Room or you know, but it's like it's not on the same grade as The Room where it's that terrible.
It more reminds me of like when I was a kid and I had like that dirty Tupperware box of action figures,
Right.
that were like constantly covered with some kind of sand.
Yes.
And I would like bash them together and be like, oh, this character is fighting this character for some reason. That's what this movie is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
But like, and I remember when I was like 5 years old, whenever my parents would take me to like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, that's the movie I wanted to rent, like every week. And I don't know why. Watching it, I'm like, why would I subject myself to this every week? I mean, like, it's fun to watch, like now it's like I haven't seen the movie in like, what, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so, but like every week. Could you imagine?
That's rough, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, this movie was like made, well, okay. it was supposed, like, you can tell, like, they were going like, well, we're gonna make this really kid friendly, because like after Batman Returns, the studio was like, well, that's way too fucking dark. We went way too dark. We gotta like pull it back. It's a family movie.
We've got
like,
Danny DeVito in his underwear slapping a fish on a woman.
right? Yeah.
Sorry, maybe I'm not remembering that.
No,
quite
that's
right.
definitely what happens,
Yeah,
and like
okay.
and being creepy and disgusting and whatnot. And then they made Batman Forever, which was pretty family friendly, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But it was still like, it's a good movie, and here they just went way too far. But then there's like parts in it, and we'll get into it, where it's like, wait, that is a clear sexual,
It gets really sexual.
reference.
It gets really sexual.
Why did my parents let me watch this,
Uma Thurman has some kind of line. I mean, like you said, we'll get into it
We'll
later.
get into it.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God. So, okay, so
Uma Thurman, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. So, first of all, we open up on this movie, and we have like the really kind of cool, edgy, like different Batman theme that I don't know who wrote the music for this movie, but it wasn't Danny Elfman. It was someone else who did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. But like his theme was like, all right, this is pretty cool. Gets us ready for the movie.
I mean, it feels good. It feels pretty neon lighted. I mean, because that's every fucking new Batman movie now.
Right. Yeah. But then we open up on butts, foam butts.
Okay. I mean, okay. Well, the setup to that is that, like, okay, so I finally get to see my heroes suiting up.
Yeah.
All right.
Batman and Robin getting
ready.
ready.
Let's start the film. All right. So we get, like, gloves. Cool. Like, check.
Utility
It's got a
belts.
little, but it's also kind of a crotch shot. And it's a
Cape,
little less belt
but,
and more like
you know-
codpiece. And then it goes cape. And then it's just ass. Like, there's no... They aren't...
Perfectly sculpted asses. Just like...
But they aren't putting anything on. It just like shows them turn around, and then it zooms in on a butt, and they like do a little like jiggle.
Yeah, it's so...
And then it cuts to Robin doing a juggle as if like we needed that too.
It's so bad.
Which I needed that.
And then we have the first line of the movie. I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman doesn't have a sidekick. Open to Batman and Robin.
I want a car. Which, by the way, hey, Robin's motorcycle is pretty fucking badass. So I don't know.
I think it's pretty fucking good.
I don't know why he's so upset, that he doesn't get to have a car.
Well, because chicks dig the car. Did you not hear him?
Yeah, but chicks also dig the motorcycle, as clearly they show later on in the movie when Barbara loves motorcycles. So we'll get into that.
That is true.
Anyway, so...
Oh, wait, hold on. How have we not, like, thought about this? Sorry to, like, bring this up, but previous film right before this is when he steals the Batmobile to get chicks. So this is possibly just a callback being like, hey, remember, we made another movie? Open to our new movie.
I don't even wow, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, no. He totally takes a cruise ride on the Batmobile, and he's like, hey, I'm Batman. Except he doesn't do that voice, and he's like,
he's
I'm
not
Batman. And then he like...
It's just Chris O'Donnell being Chris O'Donnell, basically.
Yeah, who's totally a stud muffin.
Anyway, so then they're like, they're like coming out of the Batcave, and then Gordon is like, Batman, there's a new villain in town. He's Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
And so then we come up, they're in this like Museum of Natural History, I guess. I don't know.
It's Gotham's Museum of Dinosaurs and Bones and old stuff.
Diamonds.
Yeah, and diamonds.
Yes.
And diamonds.
Where we get one of the first of many... Oh, what did we title it? One of the first of many...
So we've been keeping, throughout watching this, right before we started recording this, we kept a freeze pun meter.
Oh, yes.
And...
The cold, hard puns.
Yes.
Yes, the cold, hard ice puns. There were...
Do we want to reveal how many we counted, or do we leave that till the end?
You know what? We're going to leave that till the end.
Okay.
Well, we'll just reference that he said a pun, and then we'll just tell you the grand total at the end.
Yeah.
So keep score at home, why don't you, listeners?
And if your score differentiates from ours...
Then screw you.
Yeah, because you don't know shit.
Oh, this is going to be a long night. So Freeze comes in and he's like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Which is not correct.
No. And then Batman comes flying in through the roof and surfboards his way down this Brontosaurus.
No. Before that, he just goes like, "What's up, Freeze? I'm Batman." And Freeze is like, "Okay." And then Batman shows him some cool grinding tricks as he yabba dabba doos down this dinosaur.
Batman, meet the Batman, have a yabba dabba doo da punch.
Kick, actually.
Kick, yeah.
Yeah.
Kick into the solar
Double
plexus.
kick, yeah.
So so then then all of a sudden like these Freeze goons come out and they're playing hockey with this big ass diamond.
Yeah.
And
And since Robin was like 5 minutes late onto getting onto his motorcycle because he was fantasizing about getting a Batmobile because the chicks dig it, then he arrives out of nowhere just crashing through a wall.
Yes.
And then just rolls up.
And then Batman's like, you handle the ice, I'll handle the Iceman. Oh man.
And during this entire time,
God.
Mr. Freeze is just kind of like hanging out.
Yeah, he's like
just
not doing
standing,
fucking anything.
like watching things. In fact, he raises his arm and goes, "Yes, go, kill, yes,
Kill. This was the former governor of California, ladies and gentlemen.
Of whom I thought he did a great job.
I'm glad you did.
I mean, I didn't really care about his politics. It's just the fact that it's Arnold is like, I'm fine with that.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so Freeze is like, all right, time to go. So then this big-ass rocket comes out of the middle.
Out of his car.
Yeah, out of this car. And the rocket looks like a giant penis.
Yep.
Thank you, Joel Schumacher. We really needed that. And...
Oh, wait. Right before that, sorry, not to bring it back, but I gotta bring it back to them clicking their heels together, like...
Oh, yeah.
And then just, like, ice skates.
Ice skates come out, because that's totally... Batman's prepared for anything.
Right. And also, I think, like... Dick Grayson, he's cool, he's an acrobat, he's a hockey player, like, OG comic books. so he scores some sweet goals against these hockey players from hell, which is possibly my favorite line from the movie. So he scores some sweet goals with the diamond that Mr. Freeze needs for his gun, I think.
Yeah.
Because throughout the entire movie, it changes what he needs the diamonds for.
His plan changes constantly.
It's like to save Nora, but also use his gun.
Clearly, they didn't understand Mr. Freeze.
They also don't understand what a diamond is.
What diamonds can do?
Yeah, because, I mean...
Diamonds are magical powerful things.
Yeah.
They can do anything.
From my understanding, diamonds are ice, and they fuel ice. So, put it in an ice gun, diamonds make ice.
That's what the movie wants to tell you.
That's not factual?
I have no idea. I don't know stones, precious stones.
So Mr. Freeze has a rocket car that's also a penis that shoots into the sky.
And so Batman and Robin are like fighting, are like inside the friggin',
Penis mobile rocket.
And Freeze is like, I'm gonna blow this place up, and then Batman's like, if you do, thousands of people will die. And then Freeze escapes, and then Batman proceeds to blow up the rocket that he just said will kill thousands of people.
Yeah, because Freeze is like, I'm gonna blow this up. Batman's like, no, the shrapnel's gonna kill everybody. And then just blows it up anyways.
And then Freeze, when he comes out of the rocket, spreads wings like he's fucking Buzz Lightyear. And but he's not flying.
No, he's falling with style. But then, actually, you know what? Robin falls a little bit harder with style when he busts down the door and then surfs out. And then Batman joins him.
That's
also has a surfboard somehow.
So I just want to say, like, this movie came out like the same year as the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, and that like scene like reminds me of like the opening scene in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie where they're like where they're like parachuting out and like
then they have little boards underneath. Yeah,
like it's the same movie basically. We're watching the same movie. Not really.
I mean,
Mighty Morphin's better.
We should have watched that instead.
Maybe we should do that for another flashback episode.
I mean, I'm down. Hanging around randomly.
They get back down to like Earth, and then Robin's like, "I'm gonna stop this guy," and he like charges at Freeze, and then Freeze chills Robin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then like gets away, and then Batman picks up Robin like weighs nothing.
Right.
And just throws him into a bath.
Because he's not only a 30-year-old man playing a 16-year-old, he's also covered in ice.
Yeah.
And Batman just like scoops him like
I
he's
didn't know
your
Batman had
cat.
Superman strength. I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
Now he does, though.
Joel Schumacher knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just George Clooney strength right there.
Yeah, dude.
And so he puts him in the bath and he
It's a
uses
cartoon.
Yeah, so anecdote, Chris O'Donnell had some problem with the screenplay at one point. And he was like talking to Joel Schumacher about it, and Joel Schumacher was not having it. And he just went into Chris O'Donnell's face and was like, "It's a cartoon," and ran away. But the cartoon Batman the animated series is better than this movie. It's more realistic than this movie was.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're asking me to dispute that.
No, I'm not. I'm
that's
just saying, like, yeah,
completely
you
accurate.
definitely agree with me on
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, so I don't know what...
I mean, I just imagine that every 5 seconds, Joel Schumacher was just like, "It's a cartoon." Like, they're like, "But why? Why are we ice skating right now?" And the Natural History Museum of Gotham is like, "It's a cartoon. I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know.
Give me a martini." And he like runs off stage.
we need more ass shots.
Yeah. And they're like filming, and then they're like, "Why isn't anyone yelling cut?" And they realize like Joel's just like in the corner getting drunk. Like,
And so then we meet Uma Thurman. You know,
okay.
I don't
This
even
is
refer to
probably
her.
my favorite.
I don't refer to her as Poison Ivy or Pamela Isley. She's just Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so like Uma Thurman's a really good actress. Like, she's great in Pulp Fiction. She's really good in The Producers. Like, she's good. She's a good actress. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking in this movie.
I like the movie where she has giant thumbs better than her in this movie.
What?
Wait, hold on. I swear that's a movie. No.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, yeah, there's a movie where she has giant thumbs, and I watched it as a kid, and I loved it.
That's great.
Look it up, audiences at home. Look it up. I'm not crazy.
And if you can find that movie, then you can tweet at us and, message us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
No, it's like Bergerac, the Steve Martin with a giant nose. It's like that, but Uma Thurman with big thumbs.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I don't believe that, but okay. So, so she's like, Uma Thurman in this first like scene is actually, she's pretty good. Like, okay, so, she's kind of scared and whatnot. And, she's kind of dorky and okay, cool. And then she stumbles upon like this mad scientist played by John Glover.
Of which is also possibly her boss?
Yes.
Because they work
her.
literally one door away from each other?
Yes, that's her boss, I think. And he's like using this venom serum or whatever where you just basically milked friggin' snakes. And
Right. Because it shows that she has a bunch of snakes in her plant land.
yes.
Like she has like the plant wing of whatever
Yes.
this is, and it shows a snake being milked in its fangs with like this green juice flowing through tubes, and then cut to a mad scientist being like, "We have venom and we're gonna pump it into this tiny skinny guy."
And make him into Bane.
Yes.
And he just Banes up like instant steroids.
It takes like 5 seconds.
Yeah. I wish this movie only lasted 5 seconds. Uma Thurman's like in there, like she's like, "Oh, like, what is going on here?" And then her boss is like, "Hey, you can't be in here." Then he's like, "You know what's so sad? You have to die." And then he
Pushes
her, and so I guess like I don't know, chemicals and snakes like cover her, and then she just magically like
sucks
vanished
into the ground.
Yeah.
So okay. Let's take it back for a second and talk about science, just in general.
Like, okay.
Okay. Listen to me. There's corrosive material.
Okay. I'll buy that.
So
I'll
it
buy
burns. It burns through the ground. It makes a sort of a shitty little sinkhole.
Right.
So she falls into that, of which all of the plant life and matter, like all of the things that she loves, surrounds her and envelops her, and she
And gets
becomes
into her veins.
Yeah, sure. I don't
Sure.
fucking know. Yeah. So, but it's scientific, of
Right.
course, because she's a scientist.
Definitely.
So this is a very real thing that can happen.
Right. I mean, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Electro became Electro by getting, bitten by electric eels. So, yeah, that happened.
Don't you fucking come at me like that, man. That's not even fair. I'm trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, she falls into some shitty hole and comes back out as Poison Ivy.
And then so stuff happens, and we see that like they show like how Mr. Freeze became Mr. Freeze with some really great security cameras in his lab that just has one straight on the vat of cryogenic solution or whatever.
He even has like a pretty good like kind of over the shoulder camera angle.
Yeah. You know what I love is that like most of the time in movies when you see like security camera footage, like at least back in the 80s and 90s, it's like, wow, that's really shot way too well to be security camera footage.
Right.
You know, and it's just, you guys don't know how CCTV works, do you?
Right.
You know, it's not
normally
cinematic.
It's like up in a camera and then it cuts to a hallway or something.
Yes. So then anyway, Poison Ivy is born.
Out of a hole.
Out of a hole. She just rises out of a hole out of the ground.
Yeah.
And
it also like starts being like, instead of being like, oh, I'm a timid little scientist, she's like, oh, I'm Poison Ivy.
I'm Poison Ivy. What are we gonna do about that? Or stuff like that. She says
she's just
lines
a little
like,
bit more sensual.
yeah. Yeah.
I do
It's
like
not-
her sensual voice.
It's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Then proceeds to burn down every plant in that fucking lab.
Which is weird because it seems like her whole motive is to not burn down the plants.
Come, Bane, baby. We've got a lot of work to do.
And then, also, can we talk about Bane for a hot second?
Yes.
So he gets pumped full of literally just snake venom. I don't think that they add much to it.
They probably did, and they don't explain it well.
There's a little bottle of X that it shows, but
Chemical X. He should be a Powerpuff Girl, really.
he's one of those Powerpuff Girls that are like the buff burly men that are wearing the mascot heads that are like, yo, I'm a Powerpuff Girl. Why is you thinking that I'm not a Powerpuff Girl?
Hey, forget about it, okay?
Yeah.
I'll punch you in the face. You think you're better than me?
Yeah. Hey, what's the matter, you?
He's just from New York, you know?
Yeah.
He's from the Bronx.
Yeah. Classic Bane. Anyways, talking about classic Bane, how he has literally no English skills. Not talking
So he just
shit.
repeats,
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever someone says to him, he just like, oh,
It's like,
step.
yeah. Bane, step on it.
Bane, step.
Like, the dude who's smarter than Batman.
But before...
Sorry, we were talking about how she
then-
burned down shit.
So she
and,
burned down
yeah,
shit.
Took Bane and left.
Yes. Then we're introduced to Alicia Silverstone, Barbara Pennyworth.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, no. It's not even Pennyworth. It's something else. It's like Barbara.
Not Gordon.
It's not
That's
Gordon.
the important
It's
thing.
not Gordon and it's not Pennyworth.
They just
It's
decided to
literally something. It's
change-
like Barbara Formosa or some bullshit.
They just decided to change.
Where's
her-
a lookup device?
like a phone?
Phone. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not even okay. So for all you people who are comic book fans, you know Barbara is supposed to be Commissioner Gordon's daughter,
Yeah.
and
Bad girl or a girl or a girl.
or a girl Oracle, you know. But in this, they decided to make her Barbara Wilson. That's her name. I mean, like they make it make sense in the movie, but I
It's
just
a
don't
cartoon.
I just don't understand why they made the change to begin with. Like, yeah, they make it make sense in the movie somehow, but so she's Alfred's niece, which, by the way, her parents are hella old, and she's like 18.
But also, they stated that her parents died in a car crash,
Right.
tragically.
Yes, so that
she's
everybody,
also orphaned.
Everybody who lives in that house is an orphan.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Bruce, Dick, and Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, realistically, Alfred, he has no parents anymore.
Well, yeah, but they probably
Or
died.
does he?
They probably died of natural causes, not because they were killed.
I don't know.
You don't know Alfred's backstory. Alfred, what's your backstory?
Well, John.
No, please stop. No.
Okay.
Then we get the best scene of the entire movie. Mr. Freeze watching the Heat
Oh,
Miser
shit.
and making his ghouls sing. You know the movie.
Mr. Snow Miser. I'm Mr. Cold.
Yeah. And he's just like, sitting there like, yeah, sing for
Sing.
me. And everybody's like visibly freezing to death.
Yeah, because
trying to sing.
these guys don't suffer from the same illness that Mr. Freeze does.
Yes.
So they're all just standing in this walk-in freezer, shivering, watching the Heat Miser, and some dude that's buff as fuck.
If I believe, it's like The Year Without a Santa Claus. I think that's the movie.
I don't know. It's one of those old claymation
Yeah.
ones. It's not the same one that's 1 foot in front of
So it's not a year
other.
without Santa Claus.
It's not that. It's not that
so it's
one.
a different one.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Santa Claus is in that movie, I think.
Yes,
though, right?
yeah. It's not the hamburger, the Burgermeister, the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Right. Yeah.
I just want a hamburger.
And then we have Vivica A. Fox, who's like not his girlfriend, but like, why is she? What's her character?
She is the throwaway henchman, the throwaway sexy henchman.
But he has a wife that he's trying to save.
Yeah, but you can have a throwaway sexy
You gotta
henchman.
show tits,
Like,
you know? It's a kid's movie, but you gotta show some tits, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they don't show boobs in this movie, but
they do show rubber nipples, which
Yes.
is probably as close as we can get.
Yeah. So there's going to be this benefit at Wayne Enterprises, or at the Gotham Observatory.
Also, for the record, it sounds like we're going through like bullet points. This is literally how the movie flows.
This
like,
is how
it goes from one scene to just like a different scene.
it makes no sense.
It's like one of those old children's, like, I want to say coloring books, but it's connect the dots. It's where you just like go from like numbers and you just slowly.
Right, it's like the stupid
figure
kid
out a
who just
picture.
goes like 7 to 23 to 81 to 2.
And
you know?
somehow you made a giraffe.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie is.
So Bane and Bane, who's wearing like a fedora and his trench coat,
Right, because he's undercover, so he's still wearing his luchador mask.
so nobody can see.
Ripped.
Nobody will.
He is ripped as fuck.
But nobody can notice because he's wearing a fedora and a trench coat.
Yeah, who is that guy?
He's driving Poison Ivy to the observatory, and she's like, Bane, step on
like
it.
a fucking limo.
It makes no sense. They are at the observatory, and then Bruce is like with his girlfriend, whose name I don't know what her name is. It's just played by Ellen McPherson. It's Ellen McPherson playing the part, Somebody asks her, like, Bruce, when are you going to tie the knot? And then he goes, marriage, marriage,
But she
marriage.
fucking saves the day, and she covers that
marriage.
shit.
But he does that for an uncomfortably too long. He does that for too long.
He
just,
repeats and marriage.
Marriage, marriage.
Well, Bruce and I are crazy in love, recklessly in love.
What a great way to describe a
No,
describe a
she
relationship.
literally saves it.
Yeah.
Because she goes, we are recklessly in love, and that's enough for us, for now. And then the audience goes wild, as if that's a great answer. And Bruce is still just like stammering and drunk.
Poison Ivy in disguise, like comes up.
Oh, when she puts on a wig.
She
cover up her wig.
Yeah, her wig that's the same hair color as her actual hair. So what's she doing? But she like walks up to Bruce Wayne, and then these two guards are like, "She doesn't have a pass, sir. She doesn't have a pass. She doesn't have a pass." Nah. It's
So
like
then she just like.
Then she's like saying like, well, we have to save the plants and all this thing. And Bruce shuts down environmentalism, basically.
Am I not remembering that correctly?
Oh, no, I remember because I was like,
Wait, because it's at the little the benefit thing, right?
yeah. She's like, saying like plants need,
Oh shit, that's right. And
she's
he's like, nope.
she's like, plants need to be our number one priority. And he's like, not while humans are still having rough lives.
Yeah.
So I'm like, burn, Anyway, so then we see Freeze, like he's watching his wedding video and he's like really sad. And some guy tries to like show him the newspaper and he's like, not during the movie. Bah. That was a terrible impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way. Guy, not during the movie. Guy.
But I do love that during his wedding video, it shows him giving like a little necklace to Nora.
Also,
and it's a little
there is
snowflake.
no sign of anybody else at their wedding.
Oh yeah. No.
It's just the two of them.
It's just that he like tossed on his webcam.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Nora, come here. I want to show you a necklace that I got for you.
Married right now.
Like, oh my god, I never thought that you would say so.
So then we get to a very infamous scene. The Jungle Club scene.
Oh, my jungle club.
Which, why are Batman and Robin doing... But why are Batman and Robin doing a benefit? Is this what, like, do they need money for something?
And also the fact that Bruce Wayne announced the benefit, being like, hey, I'm doing this benefit with Batman and Robin.
But I'm not going to be there.
Bruce Wayne isn't there.
Yeah.
I think
Nobody
that raises
questions
some
that.
questions, yeah.
Nobody questions that.
Yeah.
People of Gotham are just stupid. Honestly.
We'll get into Commissioner Gordon later.
Yes. So yeah, they're in this like rainforest cafe looking place, you know.
Yeah.
And then we get the infamous gorilla Striptease. So we see this gorilla walking up to the stage and like, well, here's some entertainment, folks. Then it's like
Imagine an ugly Care Bear.
like glove off.
And then it's like
Ooh.
a sexy lady hand.
It's a lady
kind
hand with
of,
red nails and
but-
everything, and then
like a ring or some shit.
glove off.
Oh, another lady hand. It's possibly a lady. What
And
could
then,
be
like-
underneath this head? And unfortunately, she goes for the head before the body because I
Right.
still want like to take off the body and then the head is the reveal that it's some big burly man. But the head
it's
comes
Bane,
off.
you know.
Yeah, the head comes off after both arms, and it is Uma Thurman still prancing around in a giant gorilla torso.
Yeah, and then she like, you know, takes off the gorilla torso like very seductively.
Yeah.
And then she like walks over glittery muscular men.
Oh yeah, there's just like a bunch of buff guys with
Yeah.
glitter.
Which oh my
I
god.
completely forgot about that.
Oh my god.
How could I forget about that? That's
That
my
was just
favorite
so-
part. I swear, one of those guys
Joel
was crying gold.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh yeah, then she like starts to seduce both Batman and Robin, saying really sexual innuendos to them, you know, and basically resorting to I want to bang both of you.
And she's like weirdly trying to like pin them both against each other.
Yeah. But and then at that moment I'm like, it's a fucking kids. This is a kids movie. Like honestly, like they were setting out to make a kids movie, and you're putting this stuff in.
She even makes a comment, and forgive me for not remembering the quote
And he's like,
exactly.
won't you tend to my garden? Like that kind of stuff.
She says like I have some seeds to sow or whatever.
My God.
But then she makes a comment about like her outfit, and she's like, I know you love me in it, but you would love me out of it. It's like, wait,
What?
this is a kids movie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Then Mr. Freeze shows up, right? He like bashes the party, and he like doesn't.
You mean he puts the party on ice? Ew. I'll be here all night.
I'm turning off your mic. You're done. You're
All right.
I wish I could, but then it would just be me droning on for an hour.
That's fine.
Anyway,
I would just roll over to your microphone.
so then she like puffs her poison ivy, like puffs her, you know, ivy poison.
her hand.
Yeah, onto like it to Freeze, and he's just like, pheromones. It doesn't work on cold-blooded people.
Cold-hearted.
Cold-hearted people. That doesn't explain it.
Yeah.
That doesn't explain it. That literally does not make sense.
Fuck it. Move on.
Yeah,
That's-
because fuck
Wait,
that.
is
Fuck
that-
that part. It doesn't make sense. So fuck it. It doesn't. We shouldn't give it, you know, any attention.
But that's the like motive of this entire movie.
And then that's why, because she can't seduce him. That's why she goes after him, and she's like, "That's no man. That's a god."
Right, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, there was no reason. There was no reason for that. And then Freeze like, you know, escapes, and Batman and Robin like go after him, and then Freeze like freezes this metal statue, but like can go then like breaks it like it's nothing.
Right. Because
that's
when
how-
you freeze metal, it becomes nothing but ice.
Yeah,
And also, we all know ice is paper thin and easy to break. So
definitely. That's how physics work.
yeah, it's how it used to
Works.
work. It's how it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then Batman and Robin are going down, right? You know, and they're chasing after him, and they're in the Batmobile and the Red Bird or whatever they call the motorcycle.
The bird bike.
Yeah, and Batman's like, "You can't make the jump. Stop." And then Robin's like, "I can make the jump." Which, by the way, he's
He
on a
could totally
motorcycle.
make that
He
jump.
can make the jump more than the Batmobile could.
Right.
You know.
Because Bruce's plan is to ride off of this. Okay, so
Bruce is such a dick here,
It is
though.
an open palmed statue with its fingers kind of up a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're riding down the forearm of it, going into the palm of the hand, about to come up the middle finger because fuck us. So Bruce is like attempting to jump off of this middle finger onto another building, and Robin is like, I can totally make it too. Last minute, like really last minute, Bruce is like, no man, I'm shutting you down.
And which is more dangerous
And he just,
than
like-
just letting him jump because
just-
he could fall off.
he just shuts down his bike.
Yeah.
He has so much momentum that when his bike stops, he is at the tip of a finger.
Yes. And then he lets out his big
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that? Was that a good
Did. Can I get one more?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we can move on now.
like that.
By the way, we're not even halfway through the movie, guys. Okay, we've been doing this for like 30 minutes now. We're not even halfway through the movie. What the hell? Anyway, moving on.
Joel Schumacher.
Oh my gosh, this is what happens when we make bad movies. We have to talk about them more. So there's like Trouble in Paradise and everything, and Dick is like,
is that the title of the chapter when they do the whole jungle love thing?
no, I just say it's Trouble in Paradise because Batman and Robin are like fighting or like mad at each other or whatnot. And then Bruce like has like this heart to heart with Alfred. It's like, am I like, a pig head, basically.
Oh, whoa. We totally also skipped over sick Alfred. Which I think is my favorite plot point because it's just random. Like they just toss it in.
Oh yeah, Alfred's sick.
Yeah.
No, he's not sick. He's dying.
Which is actually a quote from George Clooney himself. He goes to Robin and says, "No, Robin, he's not sick. He's dying."
It's like, that's the same fucking thing. Yeah, he's dying because he's sick.
Right.
And
also, anytime Alfred does sick face is my favorite thing.
it's like an orgasm.
And it also takes like 30 seconds of him just like frowning and then squinting and looking up and then going, "Ooh."
But I will say though, like, this is like the only Batman movie of those 4 Batman films, that Alfred actually plays a role somehow. Because in the other ones, he's just kind of like, I'm just the butler doing butler things, and I help Bruce out. But here he like actually has a lot of heart-to-heart scenes with Bruce. And those
Sure.
scenes are actually really, like, honestly, those scenes are actually really good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I love shit. I'm just like slapping my microphone. I do love a good like heart to heart with Alfred.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't really get a lot of that in this.
No. All right. So things happen. Freeze is taken to Arkham Asylum, but more importantly, Ivy and Bane are like, we got to make our hideout now. So here's the Turkish baths, and we're gonna like break in here. And there's like this neon gang hanging out, and they're like,
Which is fucking awesome.
yeah. And what the neon gang leader's like, ooh, I'm gonna eat you up, and she's like, come here for a taste. Ooh. And then Bane like throws that they come after Bane, and he just like throws them to the side with like the whistle, like the slide whistle going pew pew,
Which actually happens if you
Yes.
watch that scene. There's definitely
Actual
a slide
sound
whistle.
effects.
It's like
it is so stupid. It's like okay, now this is a cartoon. This really
Yep.
is a cartoon. And
remember, it's a cartoon.
So they get their, hideout, and then we and then we have a scene where it's Bruce and his girlfriend, and she's like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and
then Bruce is like, ugh.
because he sees Ivy, and then she's like, why did you say Ivy? Totally wasn't like mad about it though. She's like, you said Ivy. Who's Ivy? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty dope for understanding.
Also, that's the last scene we see her in. She does not come back in the movie.
Holy shit,
What
you're totally
happened
right.
to her?
She's gone.
That's just a plot they just left in the air. That's your love story. What are you doing?
Now I'm wondering what else they've just like dropped. I'm trying to think of
into
every
that.
other character.
We'll get into that.
Okay,
We'll get
okay.
into that.
Okay.
So then we go along, and Ivy breaks Freeze out of jail.
Right, because he can only live in the cold zone.
Yeah, right. He can only live in the cold zone.
Because he steps out of it for like
He
1
can't
second.
move out of this one like circle, like
Spotlight.
like foot by foot, like
And it doesn't even
circle.
cover his whole bed.
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't.
the center of his
It's
bed
so
is cold.
stupid. And if he steps outside of it, he like is gonna die.
Yeah.
And then so like, hey, Freeze, your sister's here, and he's like, sister. And then Poison Ivy comes in, and she's like, we're gonna get out of here. And then Bane like takes a shopping cart full of Mr. Freeze's suit and just like charges down the hallway.
Also good to know that like
There's a shopping cart.
So I have a couple thoughts about this whole shopping cart ordeal. So here's what I'm thinking. Ever since they've been driving in the limo, they've been carrying a shopping cart. Just in case. Because you don't know when you're going to need it.
There wasn't just one lying around in Arkham Asylum?
That's my other thought. But also...
I think it'd be funnier. Well, either way, it's pretty funny, I think.
But also,
You know.
they've had, like, Freeze's gear for a while, apparently.
Yeah.
So maybe it was in Arkham.
No, it was in Arkham Asylum. It was in the little
Shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. So there
In
is
the little,
just
like,
a shopping cart in Arkham.
Yeah. It was in the little like evidence room or whatever.
Sure. It's like, this is a shopping man's cart.
Yeah, so then she like she saves him and frees him, and they're like gonna jump like
And what's him?
she frees him.
There it is.
She frees him. All
right, that's another pun.
Oh my gosh. And she jumps off. They're like about to jump out into like the ocean or whatever. And then he goes, "We have to save my wife." And she says, "You never said anything about having a wife."
As if they have a thing.
Right. I think she just wants to like bang him because she wants to like seriously she wants to bang every guy she meets.
But that's her thing.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
And then how do we get to this? Oh yeah, so Batman and Robin are like, oh god, we gotta like stop them, or whatnot. And so then they are trying to fight off against Poison Ivy and Bane, and then Robin's like, we gotta stop that bad guy, and he's like, bad yes, guy no, says Batman, because Batman is PC.
That is my favorite thing, which comes up way later.
Oh yeah, it comes again.
Yeah,
It comes up again way
yeah.
later, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Which might be actually my favorite line of the movie.
I'm just glad that they committed to it early on,
right,
So that when he says
they recall it later.
it's like not too ridiculous, even
Right.
though it's
Still
pretty
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And so then Bane shows up, and then they say another favorite line of mine: "No beauty, but we got the beast."
I don't know, man. I think Bane's pretty.
He's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just pretty was the end of
And
my
like
sentence.
this whole fight, so it's like Poison Ivy and Bane fighting against Batman and Robin, and like this whole fight, Poison Ivy's just trying to seduce both of them while Bane's just kicking the shit out of them,
And also just grunting.
Yeah. Yes. And then they're like, okay, so now Bane and Ivy have had enough. So Ivy's like, exit, Bane. And then Bane goes, Bane, exit. And then we see her like, oh, that's right, because they're in Freeze's hideout trying to like get Freeze's wife. That's where this whole scene takes place.
Oh, behind
then-
the like frozen foods that he flips down.
Yes. And then like Bane we see like Poison Ivy like trying to like sexily walk. Sexily is a word now. Like around the cable that like connects to Freeze's wife's
Nora.
like
Yeah.
Nora's
Yeah.
chamber. And
So
she,
it's like she puts her left foot on the outside of the cable and then crosses
her
over
leg,
her
yeah.
left foot with her right foot.
Trying to be sexy.
Around the cable.
Yeah.
So then she's doing this weird like crossing over her legs until she comes to where the cable plugs in and then just kicks it out.
Yep. Because, she wants to kill Nora for who knows why.
This whole movie keeps moving on
Like,
with
what is
motivations.
her
that have
motivation
no
to do that?
Nobody has a motivation in this film.
No.
Yeah.
That's why it sucks.
Mr. Freeze gets diamonds to fuel his suit
He
and
changes
gun.
his motivation at every fucking second. Anyway, so she does that, and then she's like, she tells Freeze that, your wife's dead, and he cries a friggin' diamond.
Which also immediately disintegrates and just
Yeah.
like blows into the wind.
Yes. With that.
All we are is dust in the wind.
No, please stop. Oh, and then they're talking about like they're gonna dominate the world. Like first Gotham, then the world, and then and then Freeze says Adam and evil.
Yep.
All of his lines are just one-liners. They're all one-liners.
I feel like Schumacher didn't watch any other Arnold movies
No.
except for like Conan.
Well, or
maybe?
just like he saw like the one like he saw I'll be back, and he's like one-liner. Hasta la vista, baby. One-liner.
But those are such small moments in
I
those
know.
movies.
They're just they've been the media, mainstream.
So you're
as, like,
saying that he'd never watched an Arnold movie?
Yes,
and was
basically.
just like, oh, I know he does one-liners.
Yeah, that's
and then just
exactly.
made this
He
movie.
just saw those lines and he's like, yes,
Yeah.
one-liners, nothing else. Which, by the way, just side note, a guy named Avita Goldsman wrote this movie. He also wrote A Beautiful Mind, which is an amazing movie. How sad.
I mean, A Beautiful Mind, it's very touching.
Yes.
It always reminds me of the other films that he's made where
Like Batman and
lines
Robin.
are like ice to see you, Batman.
Yes. Jesus Christ. So Dick starts going off about how oh yeah, Ivy loves me, not you, and you just hate that she loves me, Bruce. And then
Which would be cool if it was played by like a 16-year-old who's
Right.
like hormonal or whatever, but instead of it's Chris O'Donnell.
who's like freaking like 30,
Yeah.
It's like
This is some
she
dude
loves me,
yelling
not
at
you.
you.
She just loves me, not you. And so then
This is just some asshole who's
Yeah.
outside of a liquor store being like, no, man.
and then that scene just ends, and then we see Bane just lifting up the bat signal, from
out
his
of
roots,
nowhere, yeah.
which what does Ivy say? She says, let there be light. But how can
As
there be
the
light
light's being ripped
when you're
out.
destroying the light and like ripping it from its core? Oh my gosh. So stupid.
But that does go into Robin has like an obsession with wanting a Robin signal instead of a bat signal.
Right, yes.
So I think this
'cause
is
Ivy is playing into Robin's like, I want to go solo. I want to be, the main hero, not just the sidekick. Because this whole movie really is about Robin saying, I'm not your sidekick, I'm your partner.
And also, I think this is one of the only moments in the movie that actually connects to any kind of plot.
Yes. I think so.
Like, this is character driven.
Like, actually, like, Robin may be whining the entire movie, but his character arc actually kind of
Like, he
is
wants
coherent.
this. He wants this.
Yeah.
He wants to be just Robin, no Batman.
Yeah.
So then,
Well, because he has
now
that
we
line
get-
where he says, it's always Batman and Robin, never Robin and Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it always like, you and then me instead of us?
and taking it back to the very first line of the film, where it's
I want a car, chicks take the car.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But it would have worked better
moment.
if it was like a teenager who's like coming of age instead of like an adult who is
Chris
just
O'Donnell.
acting like a child,
Right.
Anyway, we could talk about that for hours on end. But then like, so Alfred gives Barbara this CD, that has like everything that Alfred's brother,
Because it's Wilfred, Alfred, Barbara Fred,
Fred, just Fred,
just Fred. Their great-great-grandfather is Fred.
Yeah.
The first of his kind.
But like has everything that Wilfred needs to know to like, continue like, the family business or whatever.
Yeah.
And Barbara just opens the CD and like, she tries out all these passwords where she's like, Alfred, Wilfred, Wayne.
Doesn't she? Yeah, it's
London.
Wayne. London is one.
She finally finds the password out to be like her mother's name, Peggy. And it opens up all the files.
It wasn't even Peggy, was it?
Yeah, it was
just
Peggy.
Peg?
Or maybe it was Peg.
I think it was just
Yeah.
Peg.
Yes, it was Peg. Yes, you're right.
Because that's what's on the photo.
Yes, it's Peg.
Yeah.
You're right. And then it like opens up basically all the bat plans. The bat plans.
The bad plans.
Yeah. So like Freeze and Brain and Brain. Bane has no brain. Okay. So
What
yeah.
are we doing tonight, Bane?
Brain.
Doing tonight, Bane.
So they go to the observatory, and then we have like those two scientists who are hilarious. They're just like, one scientist gets frozen, and the other scientist just looks at him and goes, ah! Just yells to no end, and then gets frozen.
I mean, real talk, if my friend who was standing directly next to me was just frozen, actually, never mind, I take that back. I don't think I'd scream. I would just be like, whoa.
But then Bane does the funniest thing ever. He takes bombs, places them around the observatory, and goes, bomb.
Also, for the record, these
Bomb.
bombs are made to look like icicles, but don't look like icicles. They look like something that would be in some ice-themed bar that you
Yeah.
drink out of.
Mhm.
Like, it's like this tall, plastic, like, really long shot glass.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it
Like,
makes
it
no
doesn't look like ice.
sense. No, the art direction on this movie was terrible.
I mean, I get that they were trying to do ice, but it's not ice.
And then, we get Barbara breaks into the Batcave, and we have this.
The bat screen.
Right, the bat screen with Alfred on it is like, intruder alert, identify. And Barbara's reaction to this is, Alfred, it's me.
As if, I mean, because I know anytime a TV ever talks at me, I just greet it like it's a family friend.
Right, like it can speak back to you.
Yeah. And it does, though.
I know, that's weird. Like, how?
It's bat tech.
I know, it's bat tech. Best tech there is. And then basically Alfred just is like, oh yes, I've been preparing for you to become a superhero as well. So I have all this stuff ready for you. And then she's like, suit me up, Alfred. And
Doesn't he even describe that he has been planning for her to come back?
Yeah.
And had already built her a suit and
without Bruce or Dick knowing.
Right. What a dick.
Ha.
Ayo.
Yeah.
But seriously,
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
Yeah, and so then we get more suiting up scene. We get another ass shot. We get a boobs shot. We get
Another crotch shot.
another crotch shot because we just need to see all. We did not talk about Bane's insanely large cod piece.
I mean, do you want to take a break real quick and talk about that? Because that thing is out of this world.
It's so big.
Okay. So, when Bane is laying on the table, he's like a tiny skinny guy, right? And he's got like a tiny little fitted suit. And then he gets pumped up with venom, which is possibly just snake venom. And so he's just full of poison, but gets buff. And then his codpiece becomes massive.
Yeah, ladies, that's right.
I'm talking like super fucking massive too.
We're talking like 3 feet
It
long,
shows him
ladies.
lying down, and it's like his dick is curled around 3 times. It's like a roll up. It is. I kept trying to figure out what the word was, and I said gushers at one point, which
You were like,
also,
Tootsie Roll.
which also I think is pretty good. Tootsie Roll is kind of funny.
Fruit by the foot.
Well, that's what I'm thinking of, is the one that like rolls
Right,
up.
yeah.
Because
The
it
fruit by the
looks,
foot, yeah.
it looks like his dick is like, oh, it like kind of goes up and then rolls down, and it's like it's definitely pushing itself back up because it's rolled over so
This
many times.
movie just wants you to think about penis the entire time.
It does. Penis and nipples and bat butt.
Yes. So anyway, like Robin shows up at like at Poison Ivy's lair, and Poison Ivy's like, my thumb isn't the only thing that's green. Care to find out? It's like, what are you talking about? Like you're what?
Also,
like, what is green?
wait,
What else is
John,
green?
John. Another moment just to remind the audience, we aren't like jumping through bullet points. This is how the
This is how the movie goes.
It's we aren't skipping anything for
No.
you. It just does this. Like we're talking about, I mean, we did just jump back to Bane's codpiece because he has a
But we're back
fantastic
in real
cock.
time now.
But this movie just jumps from one point to another point with no context.
I mean, it's just why?
Why not?
I know, right? So Poison Ivy's alluding to that some part of her body is green as well. We're assuming her genitals.
She says thumb, but how many thumbs does she really have? I don't know.
And then she says, "Be careful, I'm slippery when wet." Like
She
dear
does say
God, this is a kids movie. It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon!
And so then, like, she kisses him, and then she's like, "You're gonna die now." And he's like,
Wait, can I do it? Can I please fucking do it?
"Yes." Verbatim,
No.
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wait, shit. I don't think I have it verbatim. What is it verbatim? It's...
No. Well,
it's
just do it. Just you
okay,
do it.
I'm just gonna do this as Remy verbatim right now. Wax lips can't catch poison.
Actually, it's rubber lips.
Rubber lips. Ah, shit. But they're totally made of wax.
If this was like an R-rated movie, it would totally say like Trojan across them.
Yeah.
You know?
Like he literally has condom lips that he peels off after just like making out with the chick for the fun of it.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great. So then like Batman like shows up and like, because Robin gets like pushed into the water.
And cannot swim out of nowhere.
It's like 2 feet. It's like 2 feet deep water.
And
his head just like popping back up. He's like
struggling.
Yeah.
There's nothing pulling him down. And he's just like punching the water around him until he sinks.
And then Batman shows up and he gets like swung up into the air, you know, by
with vines.
With vines,
Yeah.
you know. And then Batgirl shows up.
Yeah.
And she starts kicking ass and she says, "You're about to be compost."
Which is possibly the coolest line in this entire film.
Yes. And so then Batgirl, like, you know, beats up Batman and Robin. Oh, but like, Batgirl beats up Ivy, and
I was gonna say, did you just say Batgirl beats up Batman and Robin?
she could totally take them. She could totally take them.
Yeah.
So like she beats up Ivy and like, you know, pushes Ivy back into her Venus flytrap basically, and Ivy's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. And it like eats her for some reason.
Yeah, who knows
because
why?
we all know that she's super in touch with them to the point that they would eat her if she falls into it.
And then possibly one of the top 5 greatest moments of the movie happens. Batman's like, "Who are you?" She says, "Batgirl." It's not very.
That's awfully PC of you.
No, it's like that's
Why
not very
Bat
PC.
Person?
Why not Bat Person or Bat Woman?
This is the second time that George Clooney's Batman has mentioned PC.
Yeah, Batman. Hey, Batman doesn't like to define gender. Okay, do
Batman.
not assume Batman's gender. Batman doesn't believe in labels.
I'm more of a bat person. Sorry, I was doing more of like
I'm human.
Let me do more of a George Clooney. I'm more of a bat person.
That wasn't even George Clooney.
No. He just talks like that though. Like when he shows up to.
I'm more of a bat person.
Oh, that was actually pretty good. That was actually pretty good.
So then they go to the observatory, and all of a sudden they have new suits on out of nowhere. They're wearing brand new suits. New suits.
Yeah. So they spent all this time on suit up montages showing us ass and nipples and everything that I've ever wanted.
And they deprive us of more ass shots and more nipple shots and more crotch shots by just showing up with new suits.
Because if they spent that much time on one set of shots, they could have done it again.
They could have.
I honestly
How
would have
dare
been
they?
happy. I feel
The rule of threes.
I'm done with this goddamn movie.
Schumacher.
John,
The rule of threes.
done with this movie.
Hey, we gotta finish this up though. We gotta finish this
Okay.
up.
I'm back.
So then like all of a sudden they start using their lasers to like heat things, you know, and basically Batman, Robin, like, you know, and Batgirl, they are trying to like reheat the city because Freeze has frozen Gotham.
Which also kind of came out of nowhere.
Yes, yeah.
Because he was using the observatory.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Which that's how telescopes work, sure.
Right. He just like put his gun in the telescope and like shot it out the giant magnifying glass.
Exactly. And then Batman, like, you know, he's about to like, he puts like a heater on Mr. Freeze, and he says, "The heat is on." And I just wanted Glenn Frey to like show up and be like, "The heat is on." Yeah. You know, like that. And then just, that's it. Yeah.
But that's actually how he beats him.
Yeah.
It's like really just that simple.
But then
like
the bombs go off.
Right.
And they don't bomb ice, they bomb fire, which doesn't make sense for Mr. Freeze, just saying.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, you know, Freeze is like, but you killed my wife. And then Batman's like, "I didn't kill your wife. Ivy
still
did.
alive."
She's still alive. You know, like, Ivy tried to kill your wife, and like, she's still alive though. And he's like, "But listen, you know, Freeze, help me help you, because Alfred has the same disease that Nora has."
Which also comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, he's just like, hell. And so, but this was actually nice because it's like, okay, so you actually make Freeze a human. Because like in the comic books, he's not an evil person.
No. He's like a good guy who's just kind of taking the wrong streets.
It's just the first, you know, hour and 50 minutes of this movie. He's bloodthirsty evil. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm nice now."
I'm sorry, this is going to be like another episode of discussion then.
I know,
I don't
right?
think that he's actually bloodthirsty evil ever during this movie. He's just like cartoon evil.
I guess, yeah.
Remember, it's cartoon! But seriously, like, he's not really going after Nora at all. Like, Freeze, it doesn't seem like that's his motivation throughout any of this movie.
Right.
Until they show it. And then even after they show it, it still doesn't seem like that's his motivation.
Right. Well,
He's still just being Mr. Freeze, just like random villain who has ice powers. That's literally all it is.
yeah, they didn't flesh out his character too well until like the last minute.
I don't think any character was fleshed out.
No, you're right. No character was
Yeah.
fleshed out at all. But
Except for Bane.
We could talk about this like for another 3 hours though.
Sure, yeah.
But anyway, so like to wrap up the movie, you know, they get the cure from Mr. Freeze. They cure Alfred. He's fine.
Which also Mr. Freeze was carrying around with him this whole time. He had two vials.
But like, you know, they're like, Mr. Freeze, if you help us, we will make sure that you get everything you need to save Nora.
Right.
So like we assume that Nora gets saved, right? You know.
Sure.
But he just has to go
eventually.
back to, like, he just has to go back to jail though, which he does. He willingly does in order to
Yeah.
save his wife. He does.
Yeah.
And then he's new cellmates with Ivy again, and Ivy's like not happy about that.
Of which he like tries to threaten and kill Ivy.
I guess.
Don't really know.
I don't know.
Because he says it's gonna be icy hell on Earth.
Oh my god. And then so at the end, you know, Dick and Barbara are like partners.
Right.
Partners. And then Bruce is like, partners. And then Alfred says, "We're going to need a bigger cave."
Because also Alfred is totally fine. Barbara's in pajamas. Robin changed into his old Robin suit.
Without us knowing.
Yeah.
And Batman's just in all black like usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know they had that the run in front of the bat signal thing. Which
And
actually
unfortunately Seal isn't doing the music this time.
it's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the grand total of puns in this movie.
Ice puns, for the record. We
Yes,
decided not
ice
to
puns.
count just all puns because that would have taken up too many
There would have been, like,
papers that
50.
we don't have.
There were 18 cold hard ice puns. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That has been our episode.
Yeah! And just to remember, It's a cartoon!
All right. Well, thanks, Remy, for joining me this week.
Oh, it was an accident.
Oh, yeah. I really hope you come back soon because this was really fun.
I hope so too.
Oh, yes. All right. Thanks for listening and have a swell one.